What's up, natural bodybuilding world? This is John Bossy covering the 2013 NGA Grand Teton and Pro Gold Championships. I'm here with the winner of the men's pro bodybuilding, Rob Andre. Rob, we've seen you compete before. Tell us a little bit about tonight's win.
Coming into it, honestly, I was just hoping to place top 5. This is my second year competing as a pro. Last year I did 3 shows and didn't do quite as well, but came in. I knew that I didn't have the size to stand with a lot of the guys around here, and so I decided I need to come in lighter and leaner and more shredded because I understand the power of illusion on stage, and I stepped up my posing as well. And then we also figured out how to get me full and tighter, drier, and so between the combination of all that, it worked.
Awesome.
I'm still in shock, to be honest with you, but.
Very cool. Congratulations. So you said you weighed 178 previous shows. You'd weighed about 6 pounds heavier.
No, I weigh 178 tonight. Last year, I was always sitting right about 183, 184.
Mm-hmm. And so what do you think you did differently? Maybe, I know you probably can't divulge all the secrets, but some of those last minute details, maybe did you do a longer prep versus previous shows?
Usually I still do, I've always done about a 3 to 4 month hardcore diet prep to get as lean as I've been. But the first year I competed, the year I got my pro card, I did just a tiny bit of cardio, not much. Second year I did a little bit, and it was like 3 nights a week elliptical. And this past year I did 3 months of HIIT cardio training, high intensity interval training for 30 minutes, 4 nights a week. And that was probably the biggest change. That I made a few changes in my diet, but some of those might be a little bit secret. But it was mainly the HIIT training. Just speeding that fat burning machine up and just keeping it going.
Shout out to Dr. Elaine Norton and Jacob Wilson. I've seen Rob posting about your Muscle College radio show on Facebook.
Absolutely, you guys were dead on with that. And I'd been doing it for a couple months thanks to Phil Ricardo Jr. He's helped me a tons. Thanks, Phil. Hopefully you watch this. And of course Dave Edgel, trainer of Body Evolution, and Jason Hansen, the owner. Between all 3 of those, they give me the right advice. But, when I was talking to Phil at Olympia in the fall, I asked him, about how he dials in, how he loses all that fat. And he says, HIIT cardio. He's like, I can get ready in 3 months. And I'm like, how do you get that lean in 3 months? And we're similar in the way that I don't put on a lot of weight in the off season. I'm usually about 198. And right around there, 195, 198 is about where I sit. And he said, it doesn't take me 6 months. I can do it in 3 months by HIIT cardio, doing HIIT cardio. And I said, well, what's HIIT cardio? And he explained it to me, and I said, okay, that makes sense. So I just put some circuits together. And then when Lane Norton posted that, because I'd been telling people in my gym and some of the other competitors, that's what you need to be doing. That long distance, I see some of the other guys on the treadmill walking uphill and running for an hour and doing the elliptical and all this long drawn out stuff, and I tell them, you're just suppressing your metabolism, you're burning muscle. And they didn't listen to me, but now they probably will, hopefully.
Sure, fair enough. So talk to us a little bit about that. So I'd say the common myth, right, is you do high intensity cardio, you're going to lose your leg size, you're going to lose size, and that's just all you hear. And obviously it sounds like this is the first prep where you've really made that the focal point. I guess tell us a little bit psychologically, right, what you were thinking going into it. Were you skeptical, and how did you kind of work through that and get the results?
I wasn't skeptical at all, just because, like I said, I look up to Phil. I think he has one of the prettiest physiques in natural bodybuilding. Him and Cleveland Thomas, they're so, they're different, and they're just so individual, and I love that. They don't look like the cookie cutter bodybuilder. They look amazing, and so I look up to him. When he told me to do it, I started researching it, looking into it, and I said, I want to look like him, so I'm going to do it. But it was intense, it wasn't, I didn't just kind of half-ass stuff. I would get on the treadmill, I'd put it on a 15 incline and a 10 speed, and I would do a 30-second sprint, and then I'd jump off 15 seconds and do 30-second jump rope, and I'd take about 45 seconds to a minute, catch my breath, and do it over. And I'd do it for 30 minutes straight. By the end, I was drenched, I was falling on the floor, I was dead. But that's like Lane Norton says, that's how there's a difference between burning calories and making your getting the fat burning mechanism in your body going and just continue to go. So.
Very cool. So talk to us a little about the diet itself, maybe where you started at in terms of your macronutrients. I'm not sure if you follow a specific meal plan or, macronutrient dieting and how you brought that down.
Yeah, no problem. In the off season, my macros, I'm usually about, okay, honestly, I didn't change a whole lot besides my cheats on the weekend. In the off season, I like to stay fairly lean just because I believe that, and when Lane Norton talks about this too, I believe that if you put on too much weight, your fatty cells will expand, and then when you diet down and try and tighten up, although you lose the fat, the cells are still there, so it's hard to get that real tight, dry look. And so I've always believed in that same concept. So I don't put on a lot of weight in the off season. So my Monday through Friday really doesn't change much. I still keep, 300. All the way up through my diet, I've kept 300 grams of carbs in. My protein, I keep that really high. I keep that about 400 grams. Some people say that's too much. For my body, it works. I think it helped me hold on to muscle. And about 200 calories a day. What I did is I cut fruit out. I cut all sugars, obviously, for 3 months. And I just cut my cheat meals on the weekend. So, but my macros, honestly, I didn't do a whole lot with those till the last 4 weeks. And I just cut my carbs down a little and everything else stayed the same, besides maybe some calories.
So it sounds like basically HIIT did the brunt of the work, and then you just finish up the finishing touches with the...
Last year I did keep some carbs in at night, and I ate fruit all the way up till a couple weeks before, and I cut all that out 3 months early, no carbs at night. I ate egg whites and spinach or zucchini, and that was it. It sucked, but I did keep in 2 cups of brown rice and a cup of oatmeal all the way up to pretty much now. And I kept that in all week until the last 2 days when this prep week, and I switched things up.
Sure. You mentioned something about how you guys have figured out the tricks of being able to bring you in full. Tell us any tricks you might be able to divulge about the last minute preparations.
Dry carbs. I lived on boiled chicken and rice cakes the last 3 days. That's it. And I just filled up. And see, I learned my body does not like carb depletion. Some people like to carb deplete. I did that last year, and it takes me too long to fill up. I learned that because I did experiment with some carb cycling about 6 weeks ago, and I flattened out, and I couldn't catch back up. And I figured it took me about 7 days, and so I said, well, that's my biggest problem, is I deplete, and I can't fill back up in time for a show. And so I didn't deplete this week. I kept my normal diet till Thursday, and I dropped sodium, started distilled, and just put in dry carbs, and just filled up.
Fair enough. Show us the abs. Show us what kind of results it produced. We've seen the stage footage, and here we go. Awesome.
Let's see.
Looking lean. Taking Body Evolution supplements. Obviously, tell us a little bit about a couple of your favorites.
Oh, all of them. I take all of them. On a daily basis, I take 2 whey proteins a day, 2 of the MRPs a day. I do my creatine, my boom, and my glutamine. So I stack it. And I do that all year. I didn't change that at all. Awesome. I know a lot of people say that, you can't get lean with shakes. You've got to eat whole foods. And for some people, that may be the case for their body. But I would say unless you've tried it for, 90 days, you don't know. You really don't know unless you give it that much time. But they work.
Very good. No need to cut those things out. Good source of protein, regardless if it's from fruit or from a shake. So we have the show this evening. I think we have one coming up in a couple of weeks. Tell us a little bit about future shows you have planned for the season.
What I'm going to do, my dream's always been to win the Mr. Utah. It's for Utah residents only. It's on June 20th, and James and Bianca Patel put it on. It's a great show. And last year I was, kind of runner-up. And it sucks that was the show I really wanted to win. And so to be honest with you, this year I trained hard, mainly for that one. I'm really happy with this one, but I didn't think I'd win it. Yep. But I'm going to do that one, and then I'm considering Boise as well on the 27th. Unfortunately, I may have some business clients coming in town that I may not be able to make it on. I've talked to Alan about it, and he said, we'd like you there, but if you can't make it. So I'm going to try and, after this, turning out the way it did and be able to figure out my sodium and my water and my carbs to come in dry and tight and full. It does make me want to try and situate things to get up there and do it again. So. Very
good. Well, look for Rob Andre on the stage somewhere here in the Mountain West within the next coming weeks. Thanks, Rob, for the interview. Until next time, this is John Bossy of the 2013 NGA Grand Teton and Pro Gold Championships with Inside Natural Bodybuilding. Thanks for watching.